dash up and forward for that or one to it, but hey, if you can just get a flying kick and you already have the lead, go with what you know.
For sure. I think we've actually seen that a lot today. Like there have been a number of sets where players they'll fish for optimal punishes and they'll drop them, and then they'll lose all the situation. They'll lose they'll lose anything that they need in the situation. Whereas again, Liu Kang fly kick, not bad for that, decent damage by itself. Whilst not optimal, definitely good enough for that situation.
Yeah, and the Oki is a huge part of it. But solid game one by Wise Gemini. This is actually the first Scorpion I think that we've seen on stream, now that I think about it.
No,
right?
we definitely saw a couple of reborn Scorpions earlier, but not, I'll be honest, nowhere near as many as I thought we would see.
Yeah.
I know Scorpion is a massively popular character competitively, but I haven't really seen him too much today. Liu Kang, on the other hand, oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, that, yeah.
This might be actually the battle of the two most popular characters online.
That's what they're fighting for. They're fighting for the right. Oh, stuffed fatal blow, and that's going to be a clean combo. Wise Gemini looking really, really good so far.
Yeah, Wise Gemini's consistency is looking extremely good.
Oh,
all right. That was fancy. That's a really tough conversion, but that was a beautiful attempt. And hey, at least it got him closer, right? Oh, this should. Oh, I was going to say this should hurt. And he's dropping combos. That's why I said his consistency is so powerful.
He heard it. I mean,
yeah.
he definitely didn't because he can't. But like,
he felt it in his soul. All right, what's the conversion? Oh, not too optimal.
Oh, spends 2 bars on that though. I understand taking damage where you can, but he has a comeback to make here. Oh, okay, but he hasn't got the bar to amplify. Even if he got the special after that, he hasn't got the bar to amplify.
Yeah, even just spin though would have been a solid amount of damage in the corner, or going into the buff. That'd be very Baroque there, shoving. Oh, wow, putting himself in the corner of that teleport. That should be it.
Yeah, that's definitely going to kill. Absolutely more than enough damage. Wise Gemini able to close it out. Definitely got a little bit ropey by the end of it. I think as Ravenwolf got a bit lower and we started to see a little bit of desperation, a lot of back-to-back down threes and low pokes, and kind of teleports at times that it's not advised to do so. But a lot of that was almost throwing Wise Gemini off, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. Sometimes when you down poke somebody and then they teleport and beat your second down poke, you're just like, whoa, what's going on, right? That can happen to the best of us, happen to the worst of us. But overall, still Wise Gemini with solid punishes, just played very solid.
Yeah, and not too surprising, really. Like, he was looking good from the start, and obviously C88, Wise Gemini, that's one of them old school clans, right?
Oh, yeah, been around since, like, I feel like before I was born.
But I feel like a lot of these kind of like online MK clans, like they almost like rotate players a lot. Like just because you have the clan tag in your name doesn't necessarily mean that even if the clan is OG, I don't know if you are necessarily. But it's, if anything, it's just kudos to the guys behind these teams and clans. Like it very much takes me back to kind of like not that I was ever a part of it, but kind of like the old days of like online 3D MKs, Deception, Armageddon, where most of those clans started.
Yeah, they used to have like clan wars, and like being part of a clan was like super intense. Like you always had to do tryouts.
Honestly,
and like
if you want to know anything about these old school clans, like ask Rio. Rio is the guy to ask. It's, a lot of people won't be aware of just how far back Rio goes in the Mortal Kombat community.
It's crazy because he's pretty young. So to be like, oh yeah, can you tell me what the competitive scene was like 15 years ago? It's like, what? But yeah, he's been around for a long time.
No problem at all. But yeah, of course, shouts to Wise Gemini for doing well. That good looking Liu Kang, and I'm sure we'll see more of him as the pool progresses. But I'm keeping an eye on who we have coming up to play, as it looks like we have. Let's have a look. We have, this should be Lamine versus I Am Enenra. So there's a certain character that's not in this game that he's probably missing.
There are a bunch of players named Enenra. A bunch of players. There was a NorCal player named Enenra. We had a player in SoCal named Enenra. There's this player, and there was one more that I heard of. And I don't know why so many people chose that name. Is it because of, like, I'm an Enenra in the story mode? Because that seems like a very random thing for there to be so many players named after.
What is the most common player name you have ever heard?
Honestly, the one that I know the most of, Miller Time. I know a lot of people named Miller Time. I know
like
5
the exact
people.
opposite I was expecting.
Yeah, I know. It's weird, but I know 5 separate people named Miller Time.
I have seen at least like 10 to 15 competitive players across many, many different esports called Cypher.
Cypher, okay.
Cypher. Many,
yeah, that's a good one.
Across many esports.
Let me think. I'm trying to think if I'm going to think across all games. There's I don't know. Militime is still the one that definitely comes to mind. There are a lot of people named Dragon. Honestly,
There are a lot of dragons.
There are a lot of dragons.
So various names of dragon.
Yeah, yeah. If you add like little like X's at the end or like a number or something along those lines.
Perhaps dragon warrior, perhaps.
Oh, that works.
XIX.
Or honestly, Shadow is another one that I see a lot of people named Shadow. Probably those.
Just anything with kind of like edgy undertones. I think.
Yeah. Anything that
many of us can never escape that side of us.
Yeah.
Which in itself is quite an edgy statement. God damn. I'm the worst. Now, character-wise, what are you hoping to see that we haven't seen too much of? Because I feel like the variety has been really good so far, but at the same time, like, I'm really like I'm fiending for like some really good, like just sort of like Kokan. You know, something like super solid. Like, because we're seeing a lot of variety, but a lot of the time it's not necessarily players that are like particularly, I guess you could say, high level with the character. They're kind of playing it because they're here, and you can tell that maybe don't put too much time into the game.
Yeah.
Like I want to see someone that is like playing Totemic Kotal the way we saw Valhalla playing Dirtbag, right?
Valhalla
knowledgeable
definitely
and
is
clean and
they're the epitome of like using the cool variations really well to make today.
Yeah.
I would
Barking Irons Aaron, something like that.
Oh, Barking Irons Aaron is...
It's not even bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
It's only that the other variation is so good that makes it so that you don't see it. But like it gets conversions, it gets mix-ups, it's got really cool setups. I think it's a super cool variation. I know Hey George from Mexico is using that a good amount.
Every time I see George play, he plays some like a different character. I have no idea like how to get a read on who he uses nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Just whoever he can make the swaggiest combos for Twitter, I think.
Yes. Oh, I love those all those old Blue Beetle and Joker combos, etc. But yeah, he's always so
the best combos I ever saw in Injustice 2 was like something else.
And on his Jackie combos in MKX, ooh, they were super sick, and his setups and stuff, all super great. Plus, he's super cool. But let's see, of characters that I want to see somebody really play well with, I really want to see. I would definitely like to see a Frost using the variation with the head bomb. I would like to see...
I honestly, like... So I played a lot of Frost, right?
Yeah.
I really enjoy her. I think she's mad underrated. I think her biggest... for me personally, I feel like her biggest issues aren't things that people talk about too much. Like her standing 1 and standing 3, moving her back quite far, so they're not the most reliable punishes. Hitting and jumping and not being able to rely on them kind of thing. But I feel like decent range, good buttons. Anywhere there's a gap, you can plug it with the blade spin. Like,
good damage.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't really know what to make of the bomb variation at all. I just can't figure it out.
I've played it in the tournament a lot at locals, believe it or not, and it's pretty fun. But we're not going to see that. We're going to see
another
icy
person.
Yeah. Although I'm not sure about this orange mask. Oh, he's got a blue mask on Scorpion. Oh, they're like the opposite colors of each other.
I think we picked up the wrong one. When it was Kuai Liang, no, what have I done? It's Kuai Liang. I committed the cardinal sin. I called him the wrong one. Oh no, please forgive me.
No, you're not forgiven.
Oh no.
You have to leave now.
But in my world, it is Bihan. It's like swapped around.
I like Bihan. I'm upset that we didn't get to see more story about Bihan and Kuai Liang, like talking in story mode, being Noob and Sub-Zero now.
Especially as really cool and interesting as Noob Saibot is in this game now, but in the game, an unsafe commitment. Oh, but no punish.
I think that had to have been an attempt at 1-2 into down forward 1, but he did 1-2 into, and then he the down forward a little too fast. Got 1 down forward 2.
We're seeing a lot of wake up roll in this set already. I feel like almost every wake up is going to roll on either side.
Oh, 3 already, wow. That was a really clean punish, too. That was just about, I think, max range that he could get that punish slide. Oh, staggering it. Nice. Good patience.
Oh, okay. I feel like that Sub-Zero low is like one of the tougher strings to deal with, because I feel like it moves him so far forward, but because like his back movement speed is so fast, he can almost like shimmy with it so much better than most buttons in the game. It's like so scary.
Yeah.
The big commitment and the same input error.
I guarantee you he's trying to do 1-2.
Do you think he has release check turned on?
Maybe, or maybe he's just rushing his inputs.
Maybe.
That is something, I mean, you were talking about how the one tournament that you can see people being a little bit pressured and a little bit nervous at is this, and when you get pressured and nervous, a lot of times you rush your inputs.
Now he's going to be keeping it very simple there.
Double crushing blow.
2 crushing blows, but a lot of damage over time stacking, and an unsafe commitment. But to be honest, I feel like he can afford to commit to unsafe stuff because, I mean, let's be real, he's not really being punished. And Enra has tried to find teleport twice and 2 times has messed it up. So all of a sudden, this teleport has become not scary to be blocked. The patience. Uh-oh, big punish coming through. Breakaway. No down 2 from Lamine. That would have taken the round if it had gone for it. But he just uppercutted it before the breakaway. It would have done enough damage. Okay.
Went for a second raw fatal blow. That is pretty risky. You usually don't see the raw fatal blows coming out of Sub-Zero. You see so many ways to mix you up into it.
Especially when it's not like game over territory. Right. He does have a round to work with. Oh, full distance. I've never seen that back one connect from so far. Oh, nice combo into the crushing blow ender.
We very rarely see people go for the mid-screen combo into it. Because if you misplace that jump kick just a little bit, you drop it and you lose a lot of damage.
Oh, another one.
He's really on point with the spacing on that back one.
Yeah, not even the spacing, but the hit confirms too. He's so ready for it to connect. Now this is the life he needs, right? Getting that kind of damage. Oh, get straight in, but no punish.
It's funny, both these players are playing extremely solid, but when it gets time to punish the most punishable things that each character has, they're dropping it. It's like a gentleman's rule. Like, you don't punish teleport, and I won't punish slide.
Uh-oh, this actually could be really bad for an Enra. He doesn't have the breakaway. We can see a restand. No, he's going to cash out the damage. He has the fatal blow. Oh, punish. Oh,
nobody's punishing anything. Oh, no
bomb to amplify. Oh, and that's the game. Oh, I understand the fatal blow attempt to punish, but the thing is, you have to remember, right? In that situation, you can only do that if your fatal blow is particularly fast.
Right.
And Scorpions, whilst being good, you know, it's not the slowest in the game, it has a decent hitbox, it's definitely not the fastest.
Yeah, and there were some pretty good options. Either back 1 or back 2 in a fatal blow right there was all you needed. Definitely would have reached,
Probably just back 1, right? That advancing sword mid, definitely would have fired that.
Yeah, 13 frames, I believe. We're in a fest now. 11.
Enough is definitely appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay, now we haven't seen many of these. We've seen a lot of just commitment into the 4-3-4 from Lamine. We're going for the throw now instead. Oh, kept it safe. I don't think he was convinced that was going to connect. Oh, so both defensive bars gets a throw for it, but be careful now.
Yeah, he cannot get hit. So safe on block.
Oh, wow. Oh, maybe he read the throw.
Yeah, he must have. The good patience to just block. Lamine really running away with it though now. Now, that's a very questionable choice to use that crushing blow right there. He could have potentially saved this for another round to get more damage out of it, because he's got such a lead, it almost might be over.
I feel like the first game was so back and forth and so close, but this game 2 has just been a complete opposite story. Lamine from France doing well for himself.
Yeah, looking very solid. But again, the crushing blow could have been saved. I think on that 4-3-4, it was definitely going to kill, and he could have saved it for this round. You get a lot off of it as Scorpion too.
Oh, speaking of crushing blows, we're going to see an Enra. So we're going for his straight away. Now, with the first escape failed, Lamine's throw game just got a lot scarier.
Oh, and I had, you weren't here for it, but I asked the chat how much damage Scorpion forward throw crushing blow does, and I got an answer that was 290, so slightly less than most. I have to double check that number, but
the good thing is, like, a lot of it is damage over time, and a lot of players will be stressed out, right?
Yeah.
They see their health ticking down, especially if they're low. Commits to the full string, that could have been unsafe, but didn't get the punish. Breakaway immediately from an Enra. That 4-3. Oh, and he gets the forward throw. Now, exactly what I was just talking about. This is exactly that situation. He might be dead. Oh, it's a 18% throw, boys. And that is going to do more than necessary to take him down. Lamine playing that second game, he definitely figured out that his offense was, I think, the right choice, because it definitely looked like it was not really too risky for him to do it.
Well, he was playing I think he was playing a little bit safer in the second game. He wasn't doing as many raw teleports, but he did start to realize that, first of all, throws were working really well, and then on top of that, I get a feeling, actually, that in the first game, he might have been a little bit, I don't know, he might have been having some execution errors, because in the second game, he did cancels almost every string.
You think maybe in game 1 he was going for a lot of cancels,
and
but just
wasn't getting them.
Wasn't getting the cancel
but
itself.
He was amplifying it, so maybe I'm wrong. But for a while, I didn't even realize he was using Reborn in the first game, just because he was doing so many just like true raw teleports. And if you're going for that, then you might as well not be playing Reborn, right? But
well, I feel like there definitely is like an element to that where some Scorpion players will like use the threat of the just them being reborn to do more normal teleports, even if they haven't kind of established that in the game yet. Them being reborn is almost like something they're using to their advantage, which I definitely feel like we see people do sometimes, and it's always it's rarely the right thing to do, but still at the same time, like I get it.
I mean, how mentally broken are you if the first thing that happens is you sit down to play, you're playing as Reborn Scorpion, they do a teleport, you try to jab to cancel, and the first thing in the game is a raw teleport, right? And it combos you. That has to be extremely sensitive. But hey, we have Shine sitting down.
Yes, Shine, of course, we've seen him sticking quite solidly with MK11. I remember seeing him at Combo Breaker and DreamHack, and now again at Evo. Really, he's been sticking with the game, of course. Sponsored by M, the same team that's sponsored Scar, also one of our community legendary players, really, at this point. He's coming up against Bobby Bappo from USA. Yes, indeed. Now, Shine, I believe, has only been playing Scarlet. Every time I've seen him play the game, it's only ever been Scarlet. So I can't imagine he would played anything else Scarlet. I don't know what Scarlet that. I do think he gets the highest amount of representation. Is definitely solid.
Yeah, we see only a few players that stick 100% with Scarlet, most notably King Gambler, who just got picked up by a team whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, but definitely the most successful Scarlet that I've seen. We saw one people playing Scarlet pretty early in the game's life. I mean, even I remember that was one of the first Scarlets that I ever looked at before he so quickly changed. So I love seeing Scarlet. Scarlet's one of those characters that you get to play in so many different ways. You can play very aggressively or very defensively. You can zone. It's very based on the matchup too.
I feel like the keeper way is the more stable way of playing those.
Yeah.
The problem with a rushdown Scarlet is there's no really getting around the fact that there are gaps on every string she uses. That being said, she's one of the few characters in the game that can actually plug those gaps with a fast enough parry to pretty much, kill you for trying to get in between.
Yeah, or she can change some offensive like that and stuff. But I don't think we're going to be seeing Scarlet.
I was getting next gen as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
We're going to get
another variation to take off the list at this rate.
I love next gen. I have laughed so much next gen. It's a very good variation. Who was it? Was it Sunio?
Sunio plays next gen.
Extremely good variation. It's just, the other variation is so good with Jackie too that you almost never see it. So I want to see exactly what the strategies are here with Shine. Just going for a damage ender, rather than choosing to set up a more guaranteed puddle on the floor, I want to say. Fire?
Look at the amount of damage that Bobby took by doing that throw, though.
Yeah. You stand there for, it's actually the same amount of damage as Aaron Black's, but it ticks one more time, 11 times, so a total of 110 damage.
And it's something she fires, right? It's a projectile.
Right. And if the projectile hits you, then you take a different damage over time, which can stack with the one on the ground, and then two on the ground can stack at the same time, so you can do I believe, 300 damage throw.
Oh, I think he went for the fire, but wasn't quite able to get it. Actually, I have no idea what it's called. Like the blasting fire, the blue goo on the floor.
What is it? It's called that. I don't remember
all of that.
Yeah, look at him just melting right now.
Oh my goodness!
Look at his life just disappearing. Yeah, that was a mix of the double dots. The one that when it hits you, it doesn't do actually a ton of damage, but regardless, everything adds up.
Oh, okay, but this is the danger, right? So next gen Jackie, it loses the ability to punish you on throw tech, and obviously, the cancel pressure is gone, but she still has the buttons, she still has the mids, she still has the whip punishing, she has the footsies, and pair all of that with just this crazy damage over time and a legit projectile.
Yeah.
Like, it's a legit projectile to worry about. Shine. I actually really respect this pick.
So I actually want to mention both the other moves that this character has. First, that is extremely good is her dive. where she gets to basically do like this giant far-reaching dive kick out of the air. It completely stops a lot of zoners. The other one is the big bubble that lowers projectile damage that she takes. But even better than that, it like blocks the screen. So you can use it to kind of, oh, so there we go, exactly like that, right? But you can kind of smoke screen with the bubble. Oh, look at David between two, look at his line!
That is absolute, just disgusting spacing from Shine to get both of those. Oh, but he had health a second ago. Where'd it go?
I don't know, it turned away.
Oh, there's a setup. Oh, standing to the ground. Oh my god!
200 still in it! What is this? This may be the most underrated variation in the entire game.
That wasn't even a crushing blow, Reed. That was just a straight up 20% grab.
And on top of that, her back throw gives her over. So, like, he didn't even need anymore. He got the free jump over.
Oh, this guy's a mistake.
So this is all amount of damage coming. What do you do?
Oh, good throw tech.
You take
Crucial.
You throw tech, you still take like 50 damage for it. Oh, no conversion, that's a punish.
Oh, he went for the optimal whip punish.
Round 2.
Oh, I went for the down 2, he's expecting a breakaway, but Bobby didn't go for it. Oh, all the highs!
Just waiting for the end of the string. I mean, you can be patient though, Shine, right now. If you're going to get so much guaranteed damage within the rest of this match, you don't need to take any risks. Wow, that was
really clean.
Oh, what are you going to do? Approach?
Is there anything you can do?
No, you're just
get him! Get him! No! The 4-3! That was the worst string he could have done! Literally! I think maybe the only string in Kung Lao's arsenal that would have guaranteed damage.
Yeah, well, it just sits there, wait for the hat to come back.
Oh, Shine, the beast, absolutely just bringing. I haven't seen that style of next gen done quite so dominantly.
Yeah, that was extremely well. It's just a variation that really rewards fundamentals. It rewards you putting your opponent in a certain space. You still have all the same jack enemies, you just can't cancel them, but it doesn't matter. Like, oh, sorry, you have to block 4-3-1 and she's -2 on block. Like, what a terrible situation you put yourself in, no? And you still get to mix up between the 4-3-1 4 grab? That's what the string is, right?
I don't know all of her string notations,
Gotcha.
Unfortunately.
Okay, yeah.
I know when I see them, I know why they are, but
the one that catches people trying to press buttons, where she knees them and then throws them, and that gives you good enough Oki to like shoot down a little puddle, and then you're like, what do we do now? You know, do I sit here? Do I tech the throw and take like 50 damage and still be in there? Do I try to jump out and get anti-aired and take a ton of damage because it's still Jackie? Do I, try to push buttons and then get comboed in the corner, which does a ton of damage because I'm still fighting Jackie? Like,
I mean, she still has. So the big thing is obviously losing the clinch. So your combo damage takes a bit of a hit.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like that crushing blow. I mean, the amount of times we've seen the clinch crushing blow be a game changer, and do enough damage to kill, and do over 50%. Close to 60 sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, I mean, 20% throws, legit projectiles. Like, we didn't even see the dome. With punish dive, like again, like another character that, as time goes on, I know it's definitely not widely regarded the next gen as bad. I don't think anyone would go as far as say that it's a bad variation, but it's definitely not the one that ever comes into your mind. When you think Jackie, you think first round KO, and that's about it.
I think this is going to be one of those like Yas Queen, which I can't believe I have to say that.
Yeah, thanks, Netherrealm.
Yeah, thanks a lot. But I think it's going to be one of those where once the Jackie players realize how valuable it is, you can use it in a lot of different matches because there's no arguing. Its neutral is stronger than first round KO, right?
Round one.
Its neutral is stronger, 100%. It loses nothing in neutral. It gains the dive. It gains the projectile that has an amazing arc. It gains 2 projectiles actually. So if you really
one
need
of
to
the 2 characters that has stacking damage over time.
Yeah. And you can amplify it. It just throws the 2 out if they win, You're like, you throw projectiles, you're like, if it hits, I'm good. If it hits, I'm even better. Sometimes it's actually very delicious, but yeah, great variation. I wish I had answered that earlier when you asked me what I want to see a really good, like, of a more obscure variation of, because then I would have been a genius. But unfortunately, I'm not a genius.
Well, isn't hindsight a wonderful thing, Chef? Isn't it just the best? Just reminds us how silly we really are. Or how smart we want to sound.
Yeah. It's like our job. Trying to sound smart.
So we're going back to a more traditional matchup now between Gyrus and Cassie Cage. Cassie, one of the characters that can apparently put a stop to the forward 2 1 here. Like now Gyrus players have discovered that forward 2-2 trades favorably for them.
Yeah, with the weird like OTG color.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see elements of that. Now, is it a button check or is that a match start? Okay, no, this is it. Match start, count to hit.
Oh, that's exactly how you want to start a match. So,
of course, it'll be Nate Free against DC. Now, this is a matchup. This is like a month one matchup. Two very popular characters early on.
It's a month one matchup that I think will remain as like a 3-year matchup.
Yeah, for sure. There's no way. Because these are two characters, like, obviously, you know, disclaimer, we have no idea about balance changes or patches or anything that might happen to the game, but even if theoretically there was to be a patch at some point, these are two characters that are like so well built, and that's partly why they're so good. They would have to like take everything away for it to not be viable.
They're extremely complete.
Yes, absolutely.
And also pretty fun. I mean, depending on your actual personal play style, but
oh, guaranteed that. Yeah, 70 second bar.
Should be guaranteed. All right, yeah, that's pretty good.
I actually wondered if that had a chance to maybe not be enough, but
yeah. I mean, me too. Or the fact that maybe like a breakaway could have made the second hit with, but no breakaway. DC just choosing to keep the meter. Conversion? Oh no, that's tough.
Final
oh,
round.
there's the, oh no, let's go off a little bit too early.
This zoning thing is really funny because neither one can punish each other's zonings. They can just check each other's low projectiles also. Although technically hers aren't low, but they're low. I'm doing air quotes, so you guys can't see it.
I think it's over that forward 2-1 though. 83 tries to jump out but gets tagged. DC finishing the string. You see a lot of that though, both players again realizing simply said they can't punish each other's projectiles, but they know their numbers. So they're probably just going to use the block to just move in and that's about it.
It's a respect game, you know, you have to figure out when they're going to respect you and when they're not. Once more. Alright, starting all the Oki. How many throws in a row? Oh, just one. Wait up and jump.
You almost sound disappointed, like, oh, really?
Yeah,
just one?
When's the last time you saw just one in a row? That
beautiful.
Was nice.
Now, the thing is about Geras' Fatal Blow is, if you barely combo into it, it does so much, and it's probably going to kill here easily. But when you do, like, any more hits than that, it starts to scale real bad.
Yeah.
And it's going to beat the breakaway, too. I mean, I respect the attempt to breakaway, even though it was never going to work. I mean, it killed, so what else are you going to do?
There's no reason not to try.
Yeah, for sure. But if the outcome is unchanged either way, then what have you got to lose that you haven't already lost?
Right. That's actually something we see a lot in chip damage situations too. Like, you might as well try to like jump out or like do something crazy to avoid something or flawless block, right? Why not try? There's no reason you lose nothing because you're gonna lose anyway.
Okay, this is the advantage from the wake up. Go for the throw. Delay wake up coming through from DC, and then the overhead crushing blow. Destruction.
That's how you want to start around. Here, I'm just going to keep putting in that.
That was like both games.
Yeah.
The first one started off with a shot. This one's the backbreaker. Oh! There's the punch to the 10,000-year-old testes. Oh! And again, we saw this before. We're going to see it once more. Geras.
The ball is really good, and the fact that he still has the Sand Trap Crushing Blow available, you know, he used it so early last time, but it's going to be really nice for him this time.
Okay, clean anti-air. Going to catch the recovery on landing there. I like the walk down, right? Really kind of threatens. You're going to delay wake up, and I'm going to enforce the mid game.
It does also technically push in the corner a little bit. You know, every little bit counts. Oh, try the whip punish right there.
Another whip punish, speaking of which. Now, this has been a much better life start for DC. We saw a little drop there, but this has just been absolute, just making the right decision. And another one there, knowing that. Again, Nate Free, not wanting to finish the shoulder strings. Obviously, if you go for the additional, it is punishable. But DC, knowing that Nate Free likely to be blocking after it, and forces the grab.
So, essentially making it unsafe for himself when there's not a way.
Oh, pressing buttons in between. That's a breakaway you don't want to have to spend there. Oh, man, let's get out of the corner, though.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, just knee out of the corner.
DC is really fishing for that crushing blow on the plasma blast. Hasn't hit it yet though, Nate Free. Nate Free is not really, he's not pressing at bad times at all.
Yeah.
He's been very respectful on defense.
In fact, throws have been working really well for DC.
He's not even seeing things failed. I think he's just straight up not trying to
Right.
them. I think he's just making the wrong decisions. Which is hard, it is Geras, it is the mid or throw. Very difficult a lot of the time. Same situation. And there is counter hit for Kisco. Oh no, you already used it, he's already used it.
Oh, okay, yeah, so just using it as an actual strength. It's a very scary string, can be with punch, can be
that's huge.
Nice.
Oh no, fatal blow, I wonder if he went for it. Oh, and an opportunity!
Oh no! Finally went for it! Finally! at the worst possible time. That was the third time is not the charm. Let's just put it that way.
No,
Third
for
time
sure.
is not.
That is a heartbreaker. DC, he got just the clean neutral jump to punish the wake up, the missed wake up. Went for the 3-hit string. Before he confirmed, but last minute decided not to. And then he hit the forward 4-1 and didn't do it. And then he tried the neutral and to win. If he just like, come here. Come here. You're gonna mess that up, here is mine. And that's 2 games back to back, Nate 3. Looking really strong. It just sucks to see it go down that way, but it's what's gonna happen, right? When you have the game and all you've got to do is just take it. You know, you just got it's there, it's right in front of you. You've got
Yeah,
he dropped it. Spaghetti all over the corner.
That's the easiest time to just not grab it, you know? It's like, everything's handed on a plate for you, and especially once you miss the second opportunity to win a game, it's like guaranteed for you 2 times in a row, and you drop them both, you're like, oh no, what even happens now, you know? But moving on, we're going to be seeing Silvereye.
Hello, here's a familiar face. It's going to be against Dark Foxtails. Now, we've been talking about how we've seen a lot of Liu Kang today. We're about to see some more, as Silvereye really is one of those premier Liu Kang players around right now, right? Like, and I feel like it's really, it means a lot to be able to say that when you play such a popular character.
Yeah.
The amount of Liu Kang players there are in competition to be solidified as one of the real premier, you know, flag flyers of that character. I think it really means a lot, especially in a game that has this many people playing it.
Yeah, and I think at the start of the game, nobody really realized how popular Liu Kang was going to be. I feel like,
which I don't think is too surprising. Right? Liu Kang, you seen the movie? He's the hero, dude.
I've seen the movie because I'm like 100 years old. This is Mortal Kombat now. Mortal Kombat 11 in 2019. The majority of people that play this game are like, they're way too young to have seen the movie, okay? They're way too young to play the old... Really?
I don't know. No. They're going to watch it. Of course they're going to watch it.
No, I guarantee
it can't be that niche. It can't be.
People, I bet these kids don't even know there was a Mortal Kombat movie.
That's tragic. I hope you're wrong.
I wish I was wrong. I
really hope you're wrong.
I've talked to a lot of people. I love the Mortal Kombat movie.
Okay, how many people are in chat right now like, wait, there's a Mortal Kombat movie?
If any of you in chat have not seen the Mortal Kombat movies, I'm going to say both, okay? Watch them.
Never give up
especially
hope.
one.
The first one is, I mean, if you played 11 and haven't seen the film, you'll recognize Shang Tsung's face immediately. And his voice.
Shang is like a walking Mortal Kombat movie reference. Everything about it.
It all comes down to this moment. But Silvereye, of course, all jokes aside, is recently picked up by Noble, and Noble have this is a fun fact. Noble have had a player win NOS Evo the last 2 years. It was Dragon 2 years ago, and it was Rewind last year. Will there be the Noble 3 at Evo? And now Silvereye's Noble, you know, he's Combat. Of course, Sami still rocking the Noble team.
Yeah, I want to see it happen. I can definitely see it happen. And honestly, Silvereye, he's one of those players that everybody knows he's a top player, but he's fallen just a little bit short of like the top 1, the top 3 spots at a lot of these tournaments.
But even then, like, that was really nice to confirm on that jump kick into the fly kick. But a big thing about Silvereye is, I feel like he's so good against like the majority of players. So whenever you see him lose a tournament, it's because he's losing to like the people that are in top 8.
Right, and it's not like he's getting bodied by them. It's very close. I believe it was it him versus Kombat in CEO top 8? And it was really close.
Yes, it was. Kombat, another player, we saw he won his pool earlier on, but we haven't seen him on stream today as he was before the stream started. Silvereye, there's that AP4-3 confirmed the full launch. Clean corner combo into the crushing blow.
That's about as much.
Nice. We didn't even have the bar.
Wow! That was unnecessary. That was just rude.
That was 2 wake-ups back-to-back. That was Silvereye just saying, you're not allowed to wake-up attack. No, don't do it again. What did I just tell you?
At that point, you have to know that your opponent has a 100% read on you. Where do you go from there, mentally?
I mean, that like no joke. That's legit, really terrifying.
It is.
Because Liu Kang is already a very mind game heavy character. Because like what he does doesn't look very complicated. You know, we've all seen the comments of, oh wow, forward 4-3, just that again, yeah. But there's so much more behind it than meets the eye. Especially at like the top level of competition, right? You're looking to condition, you're looking to really bait them into blocking in certain situations or pressing. You're making it look like they have an opportunity to press, but then taking that from them with stuff exactly like that, forward block into plus frames. And when that kind of wake up read, and that's more like it. Crushing blow launch.
Does he have defensive meter? Yeah, he's got to break away. Nice choice.
That would have been a huge amount of damage. Oh, goes to the throw a little bit too early, tries to tick throw off the jump in, but didn't manage to.
He's got the corner position. Oh. Nice. Oh, almost nice. Weird not pickup. Kind of a good punch. Can he down one?
He
tried down one a little bit too
Perhaps
late.
you are the illusion.
Oh,
wait,
My
what?
flames are real enough, sorcerer.
Yeah, it was an instant jump back punch when he was in the corner and it worked.
That was almost a tie round. That was really close to a tie round.
Yeah, that's a really wacky interaction. You see him straight away going for his last little jump into the Dark Fox tails. He's starting to go for a lot of jump kicks now, trying to throw off those anti-air timings.
Nice back throw into the corner. After the little jab. Oh man, there is a lot of jumping right now.
Oh, and Silverite, he went for the breakaway, expecting a full combo, but Dark Fox just went for the forward 4 grab. That's not maxing damage. Speaking of damage though, 34% coming through at 346. Oh, whiff on the overhead slam. Doesn't have the crushing blow. Oh, that's
it. Nice, just going for, again, just the easiest possible punish that he knew would kill. Going for the flying kick and a very dominant game from Silverite. Pretty unsurprising to anybody.
Yeah, I feel like pulls have really kind of been like that's the story of them all day. You know, there are over 120 pools here, and obviously 1,500 players. Like a lot of the players we see in the pools are kind of designed within this match to do. We kind of know who to expect when they get out of the pools. The question is like, you know, will there be upsets? Will there not be? I think there hasn't really been any, you know, with the exception of like Triple and Stalin taking over Toxin and pools. Even though it wasn't streamed, unfortunately, you know, it's something that happened off stream. But it hasn't really been any upsets of any degree this year so far.
Nothing huge, but we're still pretty early on, and this is a face I haven't seen in so long. Illusion. Coming from somewhere in Seattle, I actually don't want to say it's exactly Seattle, but somewhere up there, used to be one of the actually used to be in Nova. Used to be one of the top players back in MKX for quite a while. Really one of those names.
Illusion is one of those players that we all know is really strong, but would always, unfortunately, just fall short of like the best kind of placing. I always have kind of felt that because we might see it even here a lot. He's always been the kind of player that plays a lot of characters. Like he plays a lot of the roster and ready to bring them out in competitive, no less. You know, he doesn't just dabble in a few. He plays a lot and he's always ready to pop to any character seemingly in tournament. I've always felt that kind of like, even though he's definitely a good enough player to do that, I have felt like he has always kind of spread himself thin somewhat, considering what we know he's capable of due to like his game knowledge and his fundamentals, but I wonder what his approach is to MK11. Because like you said, we haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, and also throughout the years, his playstyle has been very, very different. So for instance, we've seen him play Green Arrow in Injustice 1, and then we saw him play a lot of Kotal in MKX, and he switched around to like a lot of different characters like Batman, Quan Chi. Yeah, he has switched playstyles a lot. And he could really play any style that he wants. So, you know, knowing that going into a new game like Mortal Kombat 11, still a new game, right? We can say that. Like, he can do anything.
Now, if they're going for the button check, I believe, and it's Illusions is on Emerald, Defender Jade, and it's Warlock Shang Tsung for goatee.
We were just talking about this matchup, right? How a lot of things do not like just body drop. Cork drop. Cork drop.
I cannot escape.
Cork drop alone is just a very difficult tool for Jade to deal with. But we did see that jump take the Jade pick work actually pretty decently well.
The thing is, like, this is definitely a good matchup for Shang, but it's far from unwinnable. Like, it's definitely not unwinnable. It is what it is. That being said, though, I'm remembering back to some tweets Illusions made shortly after the game came out, I believe, we were talking about how he just has so much fun with Jade and he could see himself playing her and only her. But after seeing him make that tweet, I never saw him compete. I wasn't sure how whether that would stick to. It looks like we have reason to believe that is the case.
Yeah, it looks like it. So I have seen him play a little bit. They do have some monthlies up in the Seattle area too. Some PNW monthlies. He won at least one, but I've seen him at a few. Jade is. I know the character he's been playing. I do know
because like Shang Tsung is so much taller than she is. When he walks back into her, and his head just appears like way above her.
Damn.
Many words, Jade. It's Evo.
Alright, so here we go, going in, and we already see Emerald Defender Jade against Warlock Shang Tsung, most popular variations for these two. No more weirdness, at least for this match.
Now the big thing in this matchup, again, to reiterate, the corpse drop goes through the glow. The glow ring is Jade neutral, right? It's a unique trait. Not many characters can just straight up nullify projectiles, but the corpse drop doesn't count as doing projectiles, so it's not going to quite work the same way.
As the snow falls.
Ooh,
So
barely wins that trade, but you can see just they've been trading hits back and forth, and Illusion just had a little bit less life than Doty, just because of the damage of the characters.
Now that 2 for 2 time, just seeing that long string from Shang Tsung before 2-on-2, that last hit, there's a huge gap and it's very reactable. We're not seeing Illusion forward rocket yet. The idea is to forward block, kill him for it, but I'm not seeing it yet. Tries to punish, but a bit slow. That definitely punishes, he's just not quite doing it.
Yeah, just barely out of time, but wow, that should be enough.
It's one of the fatal blows that it's not the easiest to combo into, so usually you just kind of do a string first, but this is close to 40% by itself.
Yeah, the damage is really high, and honestly, she doesn't have a lot of combos that don't scale very high, because none of them really get to that many different, like, normal.
Yeah. Oh, he tried to go in between. I don't think that works.
Yeah, I don't think that works, but from range, I believe you can actually block the second hit and then Shadow Kick time. I could be wrong. Oh, look at all this damage just gone already. And it's almost all corpse drops.
Well, that definitely can be the matchup. Each corpse by itself is 90 damage, and if you amp it, that's 140. Like, that is going to quickly add up if you're not careful. Okay, the counter hit. So Doty has a huge life lead, but he's getting very pressy. That's 2 for 2.
Combo? Oh, finally! Finally we see that landed on stream today. And look at this, the life is starting to get evened up, but no fatal blow. One more conversion could have had it, but no chance.
Oh, wow, that was super anime.
Right
wow,
in the needle.
Illusions, how has he managed to bring this back?
I don't know, but it's not over yet. Oh, nice block. Chip?
Oh, wow, Illusions. Coming back from near enough like an 80% health deficit on the back of just counter hits. I feel like Doty, he had such a strong lead, but almost made him a bit too comfortable.
What was the match that we saw earlier where a Jade also got a comeback with just like a bunch of back 3-4-3s and just meetings?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Yeah, well,
I mean, she could definitely do it, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Jade, she's not known for huge damage, but if she's getting a lot of strings back to back, it will add up quicker than you know, especially if she has the corner and confirm into the the flurry.
Or if her opponent's just not being patient, which is definitely something that we see a lot against Jade. They're like, Jade, whatever, I'm just gonna match out. She can't do damage to me, but she hits you once, and she hits you twice, she hits you 3 times, and suddenly the lightning's gone, and you're like, wait a minute.
It's exactly that, but Illusion's getting clipped by the end of their corpse drop. No bar now for Doty, but doesn't need it to kill. Oh, tries to go for the first wall before, but it didn't work. There's a fatal blow for Illusions, a jump kick comes through. Oh, wake up button, but there we go, the reversal throw. That very easily could have been another round escape. Wasn't able to quite stabilize things at the end with that throw.
One more opening and one more mix-up would have been it. Alright, so now finally getting the space. Oh, wow, that was, again, threading the needle. And landing the 4 too low. Super unsafe, but catch too low. Alright, the counter zoning seems like it's working a little bit better. Illusion's starting to catch on to the patterns, catch on to the spacing a little bit better. Not getting cooked by so many straight fireballs when trying to throw the air glaives.
And this chip damage, though, right? That's one of the benefits of Jade. It's very hard to kind of just crouch her keep away game. Now, that kind of healthy generation on that throw is going to be huge in this matchup, though. So it's a war of attrition.
Getting any little bit of extra is going to be great, but right now, finally, for the first time, Illusion's kind of winning the zoning war, but it's very close.
He actually can't afford to take these trades if he continues to get shipped down at the same time.
Yeah, but that was me just taking some unfavorable trades in the middle of that. Patience was all he needed. I mean, it's pretty easy to do a flawless block. Low projectile from Jade. It comes at a very set pace.
Or you can
It's
short
full
hop.
straight. Yeah, well, that, exactly. And then just do either of those, you're at more of an advantage than just raw blocking it. And then you can use a corpse drop on your own, and you kind of take turns. But if you start trading, it might not be in your favor.
Chasing over the combo, but Illusions breakaways. Now he's got Doty in the corner. This is where it can get dangerous, because this is where we saw Illusions just absolutely delete in the first game. Oh, we might see more of it. Oh, the delayed. And the overhead. Wow. No fuzzy. Oh, a drop combo, but doesn't matter. Oh, wow. I don't know what that was.
Oh, up 3. I like it. Or, well, I guess it's just short hop 3.
Wow, that actually hit.
Or 2. Oh, again. Well, look at all this damage.
That did a lot for what it was. And the wake-up fatal blow immediately from Illusions, and it's going to connect and do more than enough damage. Doty, he was on the verge of bringing that one back, but that wake-up fatal blow, I mean, Illusions, he bet the game on it. If he blocked that, it would have been death for sure, but won't matter, as he's going to take it. Illusions. I like that choice. Illusions wasn't playing too anti, but again, you know, when someone's playing very slow, very neutral heavy, and then they just, the last thing you expect is the wake up fatal blow. Someone that's playing in that way.
It's about the
Yeah,
end, though.
it's just that
like
one
40
moment
minutes
in a
left, I
set
think.
where you're like, I'm gonna pull out the most unexpected thing that's completely different from the playstyle that I've been playing, because it's gonna win me the set. That's literally the one moment that you need, you know. And he is a veteran player, so he's been in that situation many times before. And it's weird to me how much that entire set was based around comebacks, right? Like, you don't see a lot of Jade comebacks, but we saw a lot of aggressive Jade comebacks, and then we saw a bunch of almost Shang Tsung comebacks.
That was definitely Doty's round to lose, but he was making that kind of like
Play with fire.
momentum, right? Because it wasn't
Isn't
like
that
he was just
always
getting
the
hits.
case
It was,
with you?
know,
I refer
close
to
range
Katana's
sparks, jump
emotion.
kicks to
Round 1.
bait
Fight.
wake ups and stuff like that. But all coming down to that one missed fatal blow. It's, you hate to see it go down like that, but of course, congratulations to Illusions, who will be advancing through. But that does mean that we are done for the day in terms of games. It's been a long day of full action, and there is plenty more where that came from. Do not worry, as tomorrow there'll be even more. Before we go, do you have any moments that kind of really stood out to you?
Definitely Dirtbag Kano.
I was about to say the same thing.
Dirtbag Kano and new Next Gen Jack. I always call it New Era, I mix them up, but Next Gen Jack.
New
Both
Gen.
of those, New Gen. Ooh,
Is it next gen or
Next Gen, New Era.
But it has meant that there's definitely plenty to watch, and more surprises, I'm sure, as tomorrow we have even more. Obviously, it was nice to see, for me, it was nice to see Foxy do well, of course, as the biased and corrupt English European fan that I am. But unfortunately, my friends, that does mean that we are done for the day. We will be back again tomorrow, so please make sure you return. It is 10 a.m. for us Vegas time, so make sure you're here for that. But for one final time before we go, big thanks to Gojira for Stranded off their album Magma, which is one of our official theme songs for the Mortal Kombat Pro competition stop here at EVO 2019. Make sure to catch them on tour this summer on the Knotfest Roadshow Tour, featuring Slipknot, Volbeat, and Behemoth.
Finish him. Liu Kang wins. Raiden. Goro's lair.
Yeah, it's rare finding a raid. Go. Yeah, came across one last season of Kombat.
You have grown close with Katana.
Amazing.
The White Lotus can still count on me.
But can we trust Katana?
Round 1. Fight. Round 2, fight. Finish him. Fatality. Liu Kang wins.
Oh, I ain't want to pull her out. I ain't. Ah.
Sub-Zero Scorpion. Liu Kang. Liu Kang. Wuxi Dragon Grotto.
I pray for you. Whose side are you on?
What the fuck?
Round 2, fight.
Interesting.
Final round, fight.
Elder gods, guide. You're spent.
Finish him. Liu Kang wins.
The tech yet again. So Mike trying to control this corner. Herbs trying to press buttons here. Does he spend it? Yes, he does. He's got the corner, and there is a break. Of course it comes. Again. He just let it rip this time to blow up the button. What a jerk.
Raiden.
I respect it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
ultimately, he has got a round to work with. It's going to be match point for Mike Webb, all the same. But honestly, this late in the game, then sometimes think about taking some of his crazy risks.
Well, he was right about it. So, I mean, it was not ill-advised if it works, right? Trying to start off with full screen control, hoping that Mike runs into something.
Round 1, fight.
You're spent.
And there it is. So he's right. Yes,
Nice.
he catches it this time. Beautiful stuff.
He's been looking for that all
Round
game, but just
2,
hasn't had the confidence
fight.
to let it rip.
Woo! And the low, too. He's mixing it up now.
Oh, the punish! He didn't commit to the Nomad Dash. I think that was always coming. Whether I feel like he's fishing for the crushing blow here, you can tell.
Herbs looking strong right now. Yes! Keeping it unbreakable. Oh, Mike needs a lot of work.
Right, no tech here. He has to watch out, though.
The win came! Now this is already spent, yes. There's a win punch for sure, and Herbs gets the game. What a great second game from Herbs, especially in that first round. And then, as in the first game, there was some back and forth, but Herbs comes out on top. Really nice.
You can tell he's definitely a player with body language. Like he's pumping himself up. Like, you didn't obviously see it there. We have the luxury of some of the extra screens. A little bit of a mini pop-up where he's like, in it. But being so heavily impacted by how the first game went, the fact that he's able to get back up on the horse and maintain that composure is impressive stuff. You know, let's not forget, this is EVO. This is the biggest tournament in the world of the year. And these guys trying to make it out on winning side for the ultimate safety net. 1,500 players. If you make it out of winners, that's a great comfort zone to start.
Interrupt. Did not believe. Nice stop. So Herb's finally doing his own bit of interruption right there.
Now, both players are playing. Oh! But I say both players are playing way more tidy now we're going to a few more games.
Yeah, this is looking very strong right now on both sides. I think the decision's coming out of each.
They found each other's flow. I mean, that's ultimately all it's coming down to, is that they found each other's rhythm. And now, Herb playing that full screen game. Those bustles are great for neutral, goes in for the 1-1-1, but too stubby, commits into the low. You know Mike Webb was expecting him to end it there, and he didn't. No confirm, but
yeah,
doesn't
that's
matter.
killing Mike right now. Match point, Herbs. I love it right now. He's playing very well.
He just needs one more round to seal it.
But it's been very back
Trip
and forth
guard.
each time.
Wasn't a full trip guard because no counter hit, but still worked out, so he's not going to complain about it. We haven't even seen any of the cancels, really. The ones we've seen have been interrupted. It is that straight saw and low saw that are paying their dues.
Yep. All right, Mike, starting up the mix-ups here.
Oh, the escape did off me.
Yeah, that's just a guess in the middle of the screen right there. That could have been either direction.
Okay, Clipper.
Oh, Mike not taking his turn right there. And the grab. Ooh, escape fail. Wow.
Oh,
so Mike trying to press the button.
That's big news for Cabal.
100%.
If he escape fails, he might even win on this. Oh no! Clipper!
Oh, there's no
breakaway.
break. Mike is in big trouble.
To make something happen, the meaty jump three gets
Even
the pressure.
chip is a big deal right now.
All right, hang on. Crushing blow. It's not over. It's not over. He has fatal blow as well.
Boy.
Oh, he knows! He knows to just let it rip, but I mean, that was risky. We had last breath available.
It was not chip kill for sure.
Oh, but you know what?
That was just Mike pressing a button and Herb being right about.
How will you
Yeah, he felt it.
discover?
It just felt like the right thing to do at the time. That was a play by the
Come
half
and
decision.
try.
It worked out.
Round one.
And after how the game
Fight.
went, the first game, I know he's going to be happy with that one. But I mean, that was.
Ooh, okay,
That was a huge risk. That
It
was
was.
a wake-up fatal blow, into block, into reversal fatal blow, into I can't believe I did that. But it didn't happen. Was it meant to be? That was absolutely right. Later on in winning side, he's out of form, I believe, so congratulations.
Again, very nice back and forth. I like the changes that we saw from both of the players right there. They looked a little bit shaky, I would say, at the start, and then by the last
Feel my
game,
pain.
both looked like they knew what was going on. Things were working out. I really liked Herb's adaptation, though, once he saw those interruptions that kept coming on Mike. Started throwing the low saws. He started just letting the Nomad Dash rip. Those are risks, but he was absolutely right about it.
They are 2 out of 3 plays, I think. You know, when you have like, a few games to work with, you can go for those kind of wacky and unpredictable, unorthodox kind of decisions. Very similar to like the Storm sell on block we saw from those early days we talked about. But Clean Street is in a position to make those crazy moves. But we've just been informed for this block anyway, that's all we had time for. We're going to go for a quick next block of pulls. But as always, before we do so, I want to give a big thanks to Gojira for
Round two.
Stranded off their album Magma, one of our official theme songs for the Mortal Kombat Pro competition stopped here at EVO 2019, and make sure to catch them on tour this summer on the Not Best Roadshow Tour, featuring Slipknot, Volbeat, and Behemoth.
Raiden. Tarkatan Morgan. Round one, fight. Round two, fight.
Always like competitive. Sometimes the excitement of winning and losing is both really, really important and important. When you are winning, that's one of the biggest things. What do I want to people?
Finish her.
You share everything else, so for me, it's like a whole process of improving myself every day, and it's an amazing feeling to challenge yourself every day and try to reach that next level.
I was competing back in Injustice 1 when there was literally no money to be won, and I just wanted to prove that I was the best, and that's never really stopped.
Honestly, you know, if my brother didn't get me into competing, I probably wouldn't be competing. I would still be like a filthy casual. But I like competing because, like, it just, when you win and like that feeling you get when you win, you know what I mean? That feels like amazing. Like, and then you just want more. You're hungry. You got tired and you want more.
I can do a Mortal Kombat. Same reason I was watching the shows and all that. I just love Mortal Kombat. Brutality. It's just sick. I can't get enough.
Round two, fight. Finish her. Raiden wins. Scorpion. Johnny Cage. Shaolin Trap Dungeon. Round one, fight.
Showtime!
Round two, fight.
I only need one take.
Final round, fight. Finish him. Scorpion wins. Round one, fight.
Just a scratch.
I'm the star.
Round two, fight.
welcome back, and a huge shout out to Slipknot for providing the brand new single Soul First as one of our theme songs for the Mortal Kombat Pro Competition stop here at EVO 2019. Their new album, We Are Not Your Kind, arrives on August 9th, and be sure to catch them on their headlining Knotfest Roadshow Tour this summer, featuring Gojira, Volbeat, and Behemoth. And so, folks, welcome everybody back to EVO 2019. I am EGP Wonder Chef, joined by the Great Mustard, and I don't even remember the last time that we commentated together. Just the two of us, obviously at Summit.
It's a bit of a throwback, I think. Yeah. You know, not back since Pro League days, I think. But I'm excited. I know it's been a long day of MK, and we have plenty more where that came from rest assured. We are, of course, going to still be in the pool stages to close us. This is the final block of the day, so only a couple of hours left today, and then tomorrow we have plenty. But as you can see on your screen right now, we are not shy of strong players still yet to get out of their pools, as this should be quite one that's quite close to your heart.
It is. They're throwing all their SoCal players at me this weekend for whatever reason, but hey, okay, so this is Zach Roberts, as I like to call him, Zachariah Robertson. Zach Rob. I don't know. There's a million ways you can say his name. You can keep going it's further or shorter. It's Zach Rob.
Of course, sporting all the Uber, the UIU gear, thanks to him. He won the Wednesday night fights. What was it? It was the qualifier season?
Yeah, so what UIU does is for a lot of the games at EVO, they essentially do a season, and the winners and points at Wednesday night fights over the seasons get sponsored by UIU for EVO. And so I'm not actually sure who all the rest of the winners were. I think it might have been Red Black for Tekken, but I do know that for sure Zach Ross won for Mortal Kombat, and that just means that he's been the most socially successful player in SoCal, at least within our own SoCal locals, but for very good reason. He's an extremely good player named Garrett, who is a character that I'm sure we are all very familiar with as a top tier in the game, and he's been a very good player for a long time. I've known him since he really dove into tournaments. His very first tournament a long time ago in Injustice. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was in MKX actually.
Really?
So he hasn't even been playing for that long, but here he is, maybe most successful in SoCal.
Now, I remember you saying last time we saw Zach Rob, I believe it was Combo Breaker, where you said he doesn't get the chance to travel too much.
Right.
So obviously these big opportunities aren't exactly common for him to go make it out with, but he does play Geras. He does have, I'd say, quite a unique style on the character. You know, obviously Geras is a character that is definitely not shy of a lot of representation, but I feel like the character really just gets more and more diverse the more we see him.
Yeah, at first, it was pretty simple to just play the very simple Garrus game with him. But now that people have found answers to Garrus, you really need to expand your play style and kind of make it your own. Oh, he went for Airbnb!
And he got it!
Ooh. But yeah, you have to make the style your own, otherwise it's so easy to counter. Nice anti-airs, yeah. His anti-airs are extremely on point.
Oh, he tried to go for the ender, but even then, missing the sand trap, but look at the damage he hasn't taken. It's just been an absolute dominant round. And another throw. We're going to see the first one of the round. Zach Ross looking on. Yeah, that was... I felt the only damage he took there was chip damage that he wanted to take.
Right. He's like, yeah, I'll take it. Don't need to spoil the set. But yeah, very much in control so far. Oh, nice. Air axes are a really good tool.
Oh, breaks the knee.
Wow. Never heard him say that before, ever.
I've heard him say it, but in that exact situation.
Fight.
And there's two crushing blows. Doesn't even need a third, but okay, he actually flawless blocked that intentionally. He's very good flawless blocking, but no, nothing past that. Tried to up probably.
God, I still can't go about how amazing he is. Garrus the man, doing all the trash. The Garrus plays that even need to trash talk. He is doing all of it for us, and there it is, for a punish. Getting one going to Zach Rob. This is exactly what I was hoping to see. You know, we don't get the chance to see Zach Rob too often, but when we do, he's just really strong. He hasn't been able to kind of really get that top level success yet in MK11, but I would love to see this be his breakout. He earned the qualification sort to EVO for, the UIU reputation, starting off strong with a crushing blow.
Oh man, he's trying to land all of them this time. He was one short last time. Nice! There's two! I don't even know if he necessarily needed to do that. I mean, if you have the meter, sometimes it's better just to spend the meter so that you can at least have time to regen it.
Oh, wow,
okay,
that's it.
three.
Yep.
That's all you need.
That's that Gearus round, the 3 crushing blow life bar.
Oh, he's just showing off now at this point. He has to be.
I feel like that's like the forbidden round that every Gearus player dreams of, but you know, it's the forbidden fruit. They just can't quite get it ever. You know, they always go for it.
Well, it was 100% perfect right there.
And it was all counter hits. It was Vega Man's fault that it worked.
It's true. It's true.
Okay, it's a hit confirmed. Of course, no bar for Vega Man. This is going to hurt. Oh, there's that deep jump hit to extra damage.
That's optimal. Oh, there's so much damage. Like everything else Gearus does.
Ooh. I wonder if he thought it was going to anti-air low.
Yeah, I think he must have. Just going to that same jab. Still great anti-air. Okay, there we go. Landed some damage. And getting the corner positioning, but...
oh, wow.
Ooh. No meter to break away. Wow, really go for the optimal.
I'm surprised with his consistency on it too. I know that's definitely not as easy as it looks.
No, it is quite difficult. I think that might have been punishable, but okay, 2.
He's 100% fishing for something here. 1000%. He is fit. Oh, it's down to 4%. He's trying to be smart.
Yeah, I don't know. Is he going for a certain brutal?
Oh, he has. For us, he knew that was definitely a dominant round for him, but again, I'm happy to see him doing well for himself. I know Gearus is a character that we see a lot, but I really feel like there is a lot of room in that character for diverse styles of play. You know, you can go for the absolute balls to the wall. I'm just gonna jump in, body splash, and go as unga bunga as physically possible. Or you can play around the neutral and fish for anti-airs, whiff punishes, and pretty much all the in-between.
Right, which of course are so heavily rewarded with Gearus, as we saw in that 3-hit kill round, right?
That was literally a 3-touch round. Yeah. But that's, again, like, to reiterate, they were all counter hits.
Yeah.
And they don't proc unless you press buttons at a bad time. Gearus is just... I feel like that's why a lot of people are annoyed at Gearus as well, is because, like, they lose a round to that, but, again, they know it's their fault. Right. Because the counter hit won't happen unless you backdash, unless you press a button, or you do something that you probably could have not done to survive.
I think almost every single one in that round was an anti-air option, or the forward one just happened to be a counter hit. It's not quite as tilting if you get hit by the overhead one, which is just like, okay, I guess wrong, right? It happens. But when you get 3 counter hit ones in one round, that's rough mentally, right?
Unless you're the Gearus player, in which it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, that's what they live for. Gearus is for people who are like, fucking close. I love this game! Alright, so I don't actually know who these next players are. I like the cat, though, with the little shark bite out of it.
That's intentional as well. I was looking and I'm like, is that just like a worn and weathered, like, is that like a battle-torn hat? But no, it's like legit part of it, I think. But it's going to be Valhalla X27 versus Brother Craig, apparently. 2 players I've not seen before, but again, like, I said this earlier on in my first blog, but really this is the main tournament of the year that's going to happen, I think, right? This is the biggest Mortal Kombat tournament of all time. We have over 1,500 participants. We're just walking around the pools and seeing so many new faces, because there are so many people here that they want to be here because it's EVO, they want to enter because it's the first year, and I mean, energies are like at an all-time high around the station, right? But it also means that there are the highest amount of players that have never really had the chance to see. And this is where you can really begin to get an early look at some of these players that might be somewhat diamonds in the rough, like we haven't been able to see other pro competition events that maybe we're just saving all for EVO, and this. They wanted this to be their debut, and now is the chance to see it. And hopefully we see some of them advance through to the late stages tomorrow.
Yeah, one thing that I'm really glad that we've been able to see is players who don't get to travel a whole lot. Like, for instance, you know, we just saw Zakharov. I think his only major that he's traveled to so far has been CEO, where he was 1 hit for beating Big D, but then he sort of fizzled out right after that.
That was such a good set. Really good. If I remember right, the main problem he had in that set was the CC timing. I think he got hit by I think he got hit by 2 wake-up fatal blows, but like just one. Yeah, and it looks like today, not a problem for him.
Right, yeah, he's way more on point. But I mean, hey, we're on the West Coast, you didn't have to travel very far for this. Actually, seeing all the West Coast players that didn't get to travel very much and are doing very well, we've had 2 upsets so far in pools from NorCal players. So we had Shaolin, who's a NorCal player for quite a while. He knocked Young Toxin.
I heard, yes, he plays Liu Kang, right?
Yeah. Him and Hunter Sheed, if you know Hunter Sheed, they have a kind of a rivalry. They play all the same characters. It's been since Mortal Kombat X, and he's been a good player, but never been able to travel that much.
I'm gonna stop you there. They're button checking with Dirtbag Kano.
Oh, no way.
Go on.
No way.
Go on. Do it.
I feel like we were just having the conversation about this. Just now.
Go on, please do it. Please do it for me. Go on. Do it for the fans. Do it for the fans.
It doesn't matter
Give
whether
me
you
one
win
in
or
chat.
lose.
Give me one in chat if you want to see Dirtbag right now. If I click open, I'll be putting ones for days. Go on. Do it. Go on. Please. Please.
He's hovering it.
Please. I beg of you.
Come on. Oh! Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, he did it!
Right, okay, now, there's about 15-20 seconds. Finish your point that you were saying before.
Okay, the whole point is that the other one was Tony Jawbreaker from NorCal knocked out the guys and losers. That was it. That was the whole thing. I don't even care about that anymore.
We saw Dirtbag. That's
I have never seen this variation on screen. So why don't you explain the variation for those who don't know?
Okay, so Dirtbag Kano is Universal Kano, so he gets the acid toss, the Molotov cocktail, and a buff that makes his Kano ball armored when it's active. It's a unique version of Kano in the sense that Molotov has massive startup, but if you can hit them with the acid and then put them into the Molotov, there is an unblockable burst of damage that they take that leaves them in hit stun that you can combo from.
Yes. If somehow you can hit them with a 50-frame Molotov, but right now, look at this
Okay,
fight.
oh, that's gonna be it. Okay, now this is a perfect situation.
You can't move into it, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Because so Brother Craig playing Ringmaster Sonya. So the whole point here, right? If you can get, so it all comes down to the Molotov. If you get a Molotov on the screen, Dirtbag can be quite threatening. Now, the whole point is that's actually quite dangerous. There are no setups really that guarantee you a Molotov unless you like find your like a few one-time launches or whatever, and you forego like any damage in order to actually get the Molotov on the screen. So it's very risky to play.
Okay, now this deep jump kick into Molotov, right? Oh, look at that! Whoa, okay. I think that was the first ever round win in a tournament with Dirtbag, right?
I think that is that might be the first ever pro competition Dirtbag victory. Now the thing is, I love how Valhalla is playing it as well. Now, a benefit that Dirtbag can have is if you're against a player that is familiar with how Kano works, the general gist of it is going to be Molotov on screen, okay, avoid acid at all costs. Right. This means they might jump, they might sit there and block because they know the acid can be blocked. But if you're standing in the Molotov, you can block the acid. It's only if the acid hits you that you get the unblockable burst.
Right.
But that being said, again, if you know that they know about it, you can start going for some really clean anti-airs, you get a lot of throws, and it throws while they're in that screen. Now, I like it. Go for the Kano buff immediately on the balls. Yeah, the Veggie Mighty is called, I'm not even joking.
That's right. And not only does it give you armored ball, but it actually gives you those up ball, which is kind of hidden in the move.
The up ball is definitely more of like optional, like icing cage. It's not really super useful, but it's nice that it exists. And there it is, reversal punish. Also next to Kano will go full screen.
Oh, I did not know it went further. Technically, I called one frame back. Okay. Crushing a little back three, counted it only.
Chewed up that up two. Oh, and there is just the raw road. Okay, Kano, boys. Dirtbag, let's go.
This is really dominant with this variation. This is sick. All right, there's the buff. And the buff, he's using the buff more because he knows he's against the zone this time. It's so smart. I mean, some can zone too, of course, but primarily zone. Backwards.
Okay, now this is dangerous for Brother Craig. That Molotov on the screen when Valhalla has the light lead, that's where the zoning becomes really dangerous. Now there it is, the reversal throw punish, the knowledge.
Yep. Always throw punish.
In fact, Brother Craig is playing like someone that's familiar with Kano, but not Dirtbag.
Yeah, but who is familiar with Dirtbag?
Exactly, it's perfect.
Sorry.
I like that. Tries to just check, moves out of the way. Okay.
Oh, okay, no, I respect it,
Okay, I want to know what the setup he was going for was. He did 1-1-2, forward dash. I just want to know like what his idea there was.
He may have just been trying to threaten, like, I'm going to press a button and then throw that age-old Oki.
Maybe he was also trying to like block and flip. Oh, down two!
He let go of the parry too early. He actually would have parried the down two if he'd held on to it.
Yeah, and then he would have got corner positioning and things could have been better, but solid play. Super solid play.
No, clean Dirtbag play. Yeah. Clean Dirtbag. Now, this is where I think the beauty can be, right? Dirtbag is considered by the vast majority of the community, and myself included, you know, I will definitely admit, to be a not very good variation.
Right.
Because when you truly know how Dirtbag works, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, right? The acid is very unsafe. Most characters in the game get a free punish every time. The Molotov, again, if he's throwing it in the neutral, you're probably going to be able to hit him for it by literally just like dashing up, running in, jumping in. Right. There's something you could do to hit him.
You have a lot of time.
But if you don't know or aren't familiar, or even then, like if Kano does find like that range to get the Molotov out, so you can't sit full screen, and he's throwing the knives, and like, again the Kano ball buff, right?
Yeah.
If he can get in the groove, it can work. I think it's almost like an extension of the Ripper syndrome, where when the snowball is rolling and you are kind of making the right reads, it's going to take a lot of hits at a time. Because the big thing about a Dirtbag, right, is it doesn't have a conventional launcher. It has the back two, but that's it, right?
That's back two and then forward two almost launches, not really though.
But even then, forward two, you're only going to turn into ball, right? It's the only special you have worth using after the combo. Because even if you go forward two Molotov, you still are punishable.
Yeah.
They have time to stand up, walk at you, and then hit you with a button, right?
Yeah.
And that's the same case for most of his combos. But, again, if you can get the Molotov on the screen, you know they are scared of it. A big thing about Dirtbag as well, which is a huge thing we saw Valhalla do, is he gets so much off of his normal grab that, you know, if you get a throw, it's 40%. That's a lot of damage for a character like that. You can't launch. You want to take that huge chunk of damage as regularly as possible.
Well, especially if you're in the fire, though. I mean, that's Aaron Black syndrome, you know. I think the fire does equivalent damage. I think it's also 10...
it's 1% every tick, and it ticks for about 8 seconds.
Okay,
so it's
a little bit
8%.
shorter then.
A little bit short, but I believe, and don't quote me on this, I believe it's a bit wider. I think it's a bit wider radius.
Yeah, I think so too, actually. I'm pretty sure, but it's hard to confirm.
Yeah, it's also nice to see that again. Like I feel like a lot of people see Dirtbag and think that it's kind of built around the Molotov and Acid synergy, and I feel like it's not. I feel like it's Molotov and Vegemite synergy. And the Acid is there if you can figure it out. Because the thing about Acid is, it's hard to combo into. The only standing buttons that combo into Acid are standing 1 and 2 4.
Yeah.
So your standing damage is like non-existent.
Just for those of you out there who don't understand, it has almost negative range.
Yeah.
He moves back and throws Acid, and so you can't just do like string. Like you can't jab, Acid. You can't like combo an Acid in the jump, which is really crazy. So yeah, it's definitely the secondary thing. I think the fear of Vegemite is pretty much what runs the variation, right?
It's definitely the unsung hero. Yeah. But hopefully, I actually can't wait to see more. I do hope we get the chance to see more from Valhalla as we move through. But for now, we're going to be moving on into our next game, which is Kai versus White Swan, 2 USA competitors. Not a huge surprise. It looks like Evo is always so massively populated by American players.
Yeah, sorry, they're like most tournaments.
It's almost like it makes sense.
almost. But we do have, quite a few players from all over the world here. I mean, as far as the U.S. tournaments, it's definitely one of the most non-U.S. U.S. tournaments, but also thousands of, well, I guess just hundreds, over 1,000 U.S. players on here.
I mean, I'm happy to see it, man. Both of us, actually, we've both been around in the NRF scene for so long now, so many years, and we've seen the growth, right? And now we are literally here talking about a 1,500 plus man tournament. Did we ever think this was going to happen? Rewind the clocks about sort of 8 years.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to. I'm just thinking back to like the first like locals that we were going to, and like I remember back before even Mortal Kombat 9 came out, when people were like, yeah, let's run tournaments for Mortal Kombat vs DC, and we brought Mortal Kombat vs DC to West Coast Warzone, and we had 6 people for it. But we also had like 25 for UMK3. I remember back to those days.
Dude, that's got like the arcade machines on the floor. It's the ones that have 1, 2, and 3 built in. As the reigning Mortal Kombat 1 European champion.
Oh my god.
I'm so happy to see my game represented. Dude, I can't do it, I'm sorry. I can't keep up with the race. Although in all seriousness, it's fun to play. It's so fun to play on the floor. Everyone's having fun. Everyone's in that part of the hall. They're all here to buy things and try out new games and whatnot. And like, it's just the best environment for it.
Yeah, there are actually like a lot of those cabs out there. I was checking them out. It's pretty sweet. I'm surprised that nobody's ever run like a side oldest tournament for Mortal Kombat here at EVO.
It's almost like it should happen. Do you hear anyone watching that wants to do that? Bro, we could have done it.
Yeah,
exactly. We missed the trick. We look at it, taking the reins. Now, it looks like we're going to be seeing enough. I think Liu Kang is the most common character we've seen today, by far.
Liu Kang is definitely, at least for me, like when I play Combat League, when I play online, is the most common character.
Season 2 is Combat League. It's the season of Liu Kang. Season 1 was Reborn Scorpion, and this is Liu Kang, like 1000%.
Yeah, not Season of Blood, Season of Time, Season of Scorpion, Season of Liu Kang. But I guess
Season of the Shiro Ryu and the Shaolin.
Ooh, I like it. That would be a good one, actually. And then all the skins would be from there.
That'd be hype. Okay, so it's going to be Rohan Chuan Liu Kang versus Dark Cyber Luke Cyber. We actually saw some Seeing Double Luke Cyber earlier on as well. Really? We're seeing like, I feel like CEO we saw every character played. I feel like at EVO we're going to see every variation played.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of it. We saw a really good Shao Kahn player on stream earlier playing his first race, which I don't remember what it's called because I see it so
True Khan and Risen Emperor, I think.
Okay, then it's True Khan for sure. Risen Emperor I know is the one with the down back 3 and stuff.
Apologies for not knowing. Like the few times we see Shao Kahn, it's always Risen Emperor.
Yeah, always. But yeah, it played really well. Punish, crushing blow.
Oh no, missed the flying kick though. It's always a shame when you like get a one-time crushing blow launch and you don't get the follow-up.
Yeah.
Oh, I respect the attempt though, going for that wake up bait parry. It's definitely one way of kind of seizing the momentum back after a combo drop.
And we are seeing a lot of these really heavy read teleports and not really working out.
No, I feel like this is one of those situations where you have to say for yourself, an escape failed, so that's going to be really good for White Swan now anyway. And another one, like, I feel like I understand why he wants it, because, like, if Noob Cyber hits that teleport, he's going to be hitting at least 300 damage, right? But then you have to think, you have to weigh out the risk and reward. Like, yes, if you hit the teleport, you get 300 damage. But if it misses, which it has done every time, I'm going to die for it, right? At this kind of health, you have to weigh that out, and there it is, the raw fatal blow.
That was a really smart option, because it was going to beat the amplified version of the Scythe teleport. Sickleport? Is that what it's called? No, that's not quite right. I'm terrible with real names.
I'm sure it's Sickleport.
Okay. I was right then, cool.
If I'm being pedantic, it's Air Sickleport.
Air Sickleport, yeah, there you go. But yeah, it was going to beat either the amplified or the now amplified version, which sometimes can be tough to tell and react to, like, in the heat of the moment.
Well, actually, it's quite fitting as we were talking about, like, you know, sort of a lot of kind of the online Scorpion epidemic. I feel like there's almost like shades of some stuff you see there here, where again, it's if you're going to go for these like raw teleports, because a lot of people will struggle with that, right? I'm sure there are definitely viewers at home right now that are like, you know, I struggle against Scorpion Online. It's just a teleport, you know, can't deal with it all the time, whatever. Because a lot of the time you don't want to just sit there and block and wait for it, right? Whereas this entire game, Kai pretty much won the entire game by just waiting for teleports.
Yeah, I mean, eventually he was reading it so hard because there was so many of them, he was just neutral ducking every single one. Oh, but this should be... Oh, no. That's twice now dropping the combo from the crushing blow. That's a ton of damage dropped, too, but still is a lead. Could have finished it again.
Now, the issue is here with these teleports that we're seeing is, I feel like in the first game, there is definitely benefit of the doubt to be given. Like, is he waiting? Is he maybe expending a fireball or a jump or something? But we're actually not seeing Kai play that way. So I feel like what White Swan is looking for, he has no reason to be looking for it because we're not seeing it happen.
Yeah, this is kind of like a classic thing that's happening right now. Usually when players are more new to the game, what they look for. Now we're seeing White Swan kind of like fish for damage. Essentially, just all the highest damage options. You know, raw teleport, which you amplify into a ton of damage. Looking for the back 3 throw crushing blow, which is I think the biggest combo starter that Noob actually has, right?
It is his highest damage, but again, it's death on block.
Yeah.
But again, like we're seeing Kai crouch block in the neutral. Like again, he's unlikely to get hit by it because he's never not blocking because he's not being deterred otherwise, and that's going to be a very swift 2-0 for Kai.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just really a lesson out there for those of you who, you know, are maybe relatively newer to the game. It's not always best to fish for the highest damage. The goal is always to make your opponent not aware that you can get your highest damage. That's a really weird way to put it. I guess the best way would be to condition your opponent to not be blocking in this situation when you would have your highest amount of damage. So, you know, a lot of throws, a lot of just patience yourself. I mean, Noob Saibot can punish really, really hard if he reads, like, for instance, the gap on forward 4-3, up 3 from Liu Kang, you know, just jab punish, that's half his life.
Yeah, well, one of the best characters in the game for that too, right? Just getting a standing one, turning into huge damage. But again, like, I feel like it's the age-old formula of what good are knowing combos if you can't open your opponent up with it.
Yeah,
right? Like, you can learn all the combos in the world, but if you don't know how to conventionally open up your opponent in a game, it's all for naught because you're never going to hit them. So if you're going to sit there, like for example, let's say for example, you know, White Swan learned all the combos from the teleport and only the teleport. So obviously that's what he's going to fish for.
Right.
Again, like if you want to do sort of support, start looking for buttons into it, start looking for whiff punishes, maybe go for, if someone's going to sit there and block the whole game because they know you're just going to throw it out there, start going for throws, start walking back and forth, maybe some jump kicks, anything to get them not just sitting there.
Right.
Because just sitting there is what's going to get you killed, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you kind of open up the layers of the game, and it's easier said than done, you know, for sure, especially for newer players that might be newer to competition, or especially large-scale events like this. You know, again, I said this before, but it's still relevant. I'm not usually a fan on commentary of talking about, like, you know, players dropping things or making mistakes and saying the old, oh, maybe they're nervous.
Right.
I'm not usually a fan of that talking point, but I feel like at EVO it actually is a thing.
It definitely
it has
is.
that weight that no other tournament kind of matches in terms of like self-pressure as a player. You know it's EVO, everyone wants to do well here, and I feel like that definitely won't help that kind of situation.
Yeah. Also, the highest amount of points, I believe, for the pro competition.
You can literally do well at EVO. I believe if you win EVO, you're a lock into the finals.
Really? Are you? Or
I think.
Is it just double points? I don't know. Regardless, it's extremely good.
A lot easier.
Yeah,
for sure.
You can. I mean, regardless, even if it is just points, it's probably enough points that you essentially are guaranteeing yourself in, right? So you definitely do not want to have a bad performance at this event. And here's another player, currently third in points?
He is third. Foxy Grandpa is one of, if not the... only player that can boast a 3 pro competition, 3 top 8 placings right now. I believe he's the only player that's done that.
I'm thinking... I think so. I think you're right.
Scorpion.
Because it was Biennality, right? And not a lot of people around America. The only North American players, and I know they're Canadian, so don't say it, that went to Biennality were Hayate, Honeybee, and Biohazard.
Right.
And they haven't got top 8 at both other events. So I think it is only Foxy. But a big thing about Foxy Grandpa, we all know him as the Kung Lao, the great Kung Lao of NetherRealm Games.
Yes.
Has made the change. I say change, he still has a Lao, of course. But Shang Tsung is the new calling for this man.
This is so interesting to me. I mean, usually when people look at Shang, they look at him and say he's a really strong zoner. I've never seen Foxy as really much of a zoner.
Not until he plays Deadshot in Justice. I think him realizing that he could play Deadshot so efficiently did kind of teach him that he is capable of those extreme face-offs, right? You've got Kung Lao is like right down neutral character. And then, obviously, we actually have Jaded here as well. I've seen a lot of Jade players do this. They generally think Emerald Defender hard loses to Shang, and Jaded maybe is a bit better in the long run. But at the same time, Foxy, he has Shang, he has, again, like, amazing full-screen game, neutral.
Beautiful conversion.
That was a down 4 as well, he moved.
I love this usage of all the body drops. Of course, it's not considered projectile, so if you do use the glow, it does not avoid it.
Now, that is like the reason why a lot of J players consider this quite tough. The glow is the simple reason that Corpse Drop, knowing that it goes through the glow, it does 9% every time.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's just the angle it comes from. It's so good against the air claves, which is another great anti-zoning tool she normally has. So that's why we are seeing this Jaded. But again, we're seeing a really weird variation again.
I guess you can scratch that another character that's had those variations represented on screen.
Yeah.
I'm legit going to start keeping count.
It's been way more unusual variations today than at any major so far, just alone today.
Now, one thing we've seen from Foxy that I think is quite unique to him as a Shang player is he often does go for plus frames, but he doesn't do anything often. Because he knows that a lot of players will squirm, they'll move, they'll do something weird out of them, and he's happy to kind of let you do that and win punish you accordingly. Still though, Sledge's getting a really good life bar here actually.
Yeah, this is so far looking really good. And the fact that you have the staff up is safe on block. It's just barely minus like 3 or 4 or something like that. So you can make a lot of her, not really mix up, but a lot of her pressure safe and use your neutrals very well, like that for instance. But I do think that there might be a gap.
There is a gap, but because she goes so high, if you try and do anything aside from something that might specifically beat it, you might struggle. Oh, okay, this is bad for Sledgy now. And Corpse Drop. One more. Oh no! The other bottle now would work! Foxy with the read. I can't believe it. Wow. He had Sledney at full screen away and did a close corpse drop. That was the read to end all corpse drop reads.
Oh man, that was so scary actually, so scary.
I thought he dropped around. As soon as he went for the corpse drop at full screen, but he did the far, not the very far, and he missed.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it was done, but not quite enough.
Well, the real fear there was Shadow Kick would have hit before the corpse drop, so that was a really good read.
Fight.
But I mean, it beat everything pretty much but Shadow Kick. And we are seeing Sledney play extremely well with Jaded, which is very few others never seen, so I'm glad to see it.
It's one of those variations that you lose a lot of things that J players consider like, you know, non-negotiable, cannot play without them. But there are some characters that just, again, like, what's the use of having a variation move if your opponent doesn't let you use it, right? The main reason we started seeing Cassie players experiment with gas green was because there are some variations that the gunshot just didn't really do anything. And how much of a difference has that made for her?
Honestly, it's making a lot of difference in this matchup too. You get such good Oki timing and spacing after every single stat flip that lands.
Chip damage. Out the cancel, but Foxy, he has no reason to extend. Land B minus, tries to get the down 3, but a jump from Stephanie, a crouch into the back 3, down 4. Foxy, the quick low kicks. Gonna take it and go to match point already.
That was definitely intentional crouch, but then he just missed his button or something, you know?
Oh, okay, I like the choice.
Yeah, he actually could have gone for the 4-2-4-3 and got
I thought for sure he was going for the crushing blow, but he didn't go for it.
He does get to build a little bit more space if he goes for the full combo.
And if he does get it as well, because like the 4-2-4-3 doesn't do like the most damage in the game. Oh, speaking of damage though, no VAR, this is probably going to be dead. And there it is. Oh, he was the pro brutal. He's going for the, yeah.
You knew exactly what was happening.
Okay, so A is Foxy.
Yeah.
So obviously. And B, when the second he deliberately didn't finish the combo, I'm like, okay, he's definitely going for the pro brutal. And Showman, put that camera, your soul.
So, I figured he's going for a brutal, but why are we giving him another character that he can throw brutal every single game with? Come on!
Thanks for doing that. I really appreciate it. Thanks for giving Foxy another character and making sure that the universal brutality is a throw.
And
I applaud it.
There's also no like prerequisites to it. All you have to do is just mash 1 and 2 when you do it. So it's not like you have to like throw 4
Which
times.
is pretty. Isn't that the same for doing the King Lao one? Isn't it the same?
I think so.
I'm sure it's the same.
He's got two throw brutals, and I can't remember which one is which as far as like. I
think it is. I genuinely think Foxy has the highest amount of throw brutalities on stream in tournament games than anyone in the world.
Yeah, that's almost not even a competition. Right?
Even watching the versus fighting. Watching the versus fighting was he had on day 1 8 matches. 8 rounds in his pool first, and 8 matches, it was 8 games in total, and 7 throw brutality finishes. 7 of 8. And he was really and he was disappointed as well that he didn't get 8 out of 8.
I think that at any given major, he has more throw brutals on stream than anybody else in their entire career on stream.
Well, we're going to talk more about this over the next few minutes. We're about to go to a break, so please don't go anywhere, as we'll be back with some MK11 after this. But before we go, I want to say a big thanks to Gojira for Stranded off their album Magma, one of our official theme songs for the Mortal Kombat Pro competition stop here at EVO 2019. Make sure to catch them on tour this summer on the Not Fest Roadshow Tour featuring Slipknot, Volbeat and Blicky.
Liu Kang.